Hello?
Shaquem.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's John Schneider calling, buddy. How you doing?
I can't even breathe right now.
Yeah, it's a dream come true for us too, buddy. We're happy to have you, man. You get to play with your brother again, okay? We're gonna pick you right here, okay? 141.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hey, here's Coach Carroll, okay, buddy? Congratulations. Can't wait to see you.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Shaq, you okay?
I can't breathe right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You still can't breathe.
Oh my God.
Hey, well, that's a real deal, man. Appreciate you waiting this thing out. I know you've been dying a little bit, but this is a great moment, and we're really excited about it. We're expecting you to come in here and bust ass now. You know that, right?
Yes, sir. I'm going to give everything I got.
I know you will. I know you will. Congratulations on it. Congrats to your brother, too, and your family. I know everybody's really excited about this, and couldn't be sweeter. Hey, be humble, okay? Be humble as we do this.
I promise you that.
I know. Come in, working your tail. This is freaking awesome. Congratulations. Hey, Shaquem.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. What's up, Coach?
People, fired up.
Sweet as a nut, mate.
We on?
Looks like it.
Better believe it.
Better believe it. Right, should we rock?
What's that bit?
Should we rock and roll? We are back. We are back once again here on the Collapsing Pocket podcast to wrap up our draft second part. So we're going to wrap up everything that took place in the NFL 2018 draft. My name is Rob Wood. You can call me Wardy. I am wearing, in honour of this, as our YouTube viewers can see right now, the honorary San Francisco 49ers draft cap.
From 3 years ago?
From last year. A bit more with than that, thanks, Si. That voice you heard to my right now, after grafting away all off-season, building his player profiles for NFL Draft UK.
I'm on the beach now, man.
He'll be back to his default status of sitting, chilling, sipping beer. That is Simon Carroll. How are you, man?
Not too bad, mate, you.
And then to his right, after drinking away all off-season, he'll be back to his default status of sitting, chilling and sipping beer. It is, of course, Sam Aykroyd.
Yeah, nice.
You like that one?
Nice to be here, thanks.
Yeah.
He really doesn't like these intros.
I wrote that one down because I thought...
Just them, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just come to me then.
Well done.
Thank you. It's the cat.
You're proud of you.
This is why he's the host of this he's the 5-star host of the podcast.
Yeah, it's not 4 stars, he's not heard it back yet.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
What's this? Who's giving us 4 stars?
No, I took one off you because you were late for no good reason.
Oh, there you go. The greatest artists, they arrive. The show starts when they're ready. And we are ready. We are ready to wrap up the second half of our draft podcast, as I say.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys thought. I thought we nailed the first round.
Probably.
Well, I joked at the start that it would be a sort of, epic. We'll go through every pick. We didn't need to go through every pick, and it was still epic.
Yeah.
The entire first round.
90 minutes on the dot.
Yeah, but we aim ambitious here on the Collapsing Pocket. We are, of course, sponsored by Royal Flush Designs.
He's good at this, isn't he?
I know, yeah, he almost forgot it. Did you write that down as well,
that one down as well. Right, I found if you write it all down, you don't forget it. It's only taken me about 18 months of podcasting to realise that. Royal Flush Designs, quality gear to go with your beer on a Sunday evening whilst watching the NFL. Get on there. Custom-made t-shirts, hoodies. Johnny and his team at Royal Flush Designs, they will design that t-shirt for you. Send them an image and they'll turn it into a fancy piece of artwork that you can wear on your front, Sam.
A t-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Now I know double of nothing is nothing, but now we've got on 2 different mediums, and
Yeah.
we're getting twice as much off these boys in terms of
Well,
recompense.
I am. There's a petition going to get us free t-shirts for the pod. Free Collapsing Pocket t-shirts. I've just launched it this afternoon. Right.
Just a like every time I mention him on Twitter would be a start.
Right. Yeah. We have to. Do you tag him in?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. Of course I do.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You sure?
At Ryle Flush, as Sam told me last week.
At Ryle Flush, but don't forget, as a podcast listener, you can get 10% off purchase of Royal Flush Designs using the code POCKET10. The letters in pocket, the numbers in 10. So
that's how you remember it.
That's how you remember it. We're going to have a little bit of news before we start, and it's broadcast related. It starts with the retirements.
So you're saying that Jason Witten's joining ourselves?
Well, that would be fun. And is there room for him
in terms of like,
it's a big fan.
We're a median, aren't we?
We are
a median between the fan and the knowledge. And so Jason Witten now.
Yeah, I'd like to think
we
are the bridge between the elite and the common man. Yeah, I think so. What do you reckon, Sam?
I think we've got as much value to add to the AFL as Jason Witten will do, sitting in a box pontificating. Well, because, as we all know, motto of the podcast, nobody knows anything.
Jason Witten's so different. You can say that again.
And you know what? Tony Romo has taken that to a new level. He doesn't know anything, but he gets very excited. Everyone seems to like that, and I think that's what we should start doing.
Right, okay,
That's like Gary Neville did the same. Like,
with his noises.
Yeah.
Squeaking away, basically, to get a bit of
that made him that Fernando Torres goal.
That squeak did make him, yeah, true enough. Jason Witten, 15 years a Dallas Cowboy, the star tight end, has finally
future Hall of Famer.
Hung up the cleats. I don't know. He'd be a very, very, very solid tight end. I'd say
11 Pro Bowls, twice the first team All Pro. He was Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2012. Just shy of 12,500 yards in his career.
Man of the Year.
Walter Payton Man of the Year. So a guy who just working in the community for charity, that kind of.
It's not the guy with the biggest forehead in the league.
No. Different Payton. But yeah, you know, it's a prestigious award. Like I said, 12,500 yards almost in his career, which is phenomenal for a tight end. 68 touchdowns and one club man. Give him that gold jacket right now.
And I'll tell you one team that'll be glad to see him go: the New York Giants. Every opening game.
Even at the end when he's like he's still making plays last year, but in like a really
wasn't he?
Old man fashion. He's still doing it against the Giants.
And it was interesting because there was a little period, wasn't there? At the sort of the end of Romo's time with the Cowboys, where I mean, Witten had been his guy, and he was so long, but it just started to phase out a little bit. And then when Prescott came in, suddenly Witten's role got elevated. I felt.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
You know,
certainly when Des was starting to struggle.
Yeah. Jason Witten and hard man, never missed a game, did he? So hardly ever missed a game.
Oh yeah.
Take a lot to knock him out of the game.
He's been in front of the camera before. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a comedy show called The League, and it's based around a bunch of guys who have a fantasy league in America.
Right.
So it's well worth a watch. It's funny.
No, not seen that.
We could take a leaf out of their book in terms of like ramping it up a notch. But he was in that. He was in that.
You're doing a pretty good job, don't you, Sam?
This is Si watched the league and got it into his head that this can happen in our lives, and then that's why he's made us all.
Right.
I can't remember which came first, the Oxford League or the League in my life.
The League, because you were banging on about it.
Was it?
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
Is this the show about the fantasy?
Yes,
leagues?
you said that.
Did you? Oh, sorry. I missed that. I thought you
It's not like me last week when I was just like completely ignoring what
just
Sam said.
Yeah.
Just top of him.
Just lined up the next link in my head.
Nobody knows nothing.
Nobody knows nothing. So Texas Housewives favourite Jason Witten, and he's on his way to the ESPN Monday Night booth to replace John Gruden, apparently.
Who's replacing Sean McDonough? Or McDonough?
Oh, I don't know,
He's off, wasn't he? I thought.
He's off, yeah. They got shit.
He was a wet wipe.
He didn't quite have it, did he? He was a bit.
There was no Mike Tirico. Get Tirico back. I don't know what Tirico did wrong. Well, did he kneel at half time or something when the cameras went on?
I don't know. Well, no, he left.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Tirico
is at CBS.
He's at CBS, but he's not even calling Sunday Night Football.
No, he sometimes gets a gig on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the UK talking heads.
The UK talking heads. Well, Mike Tirico is very good.
So you're saying Neil Reynolds should get a stint at Monday Night Football?
No, of course not.
Do you know, I was thinking about this. I fancy a crack at Reynolds' gig.
Do you?
I reckon I could do that.
I don't mind Neil Reynolds.
I'm not saying that it's easy, Neil, what you do, but
he plays it well, you know.
Yeah, he does. He's very good at it.
Very difficult job, isn't it, for a Brit to be in a room like leading a show with predominantly American guests who've played the sport or coached the sport.
Yeah.
And you haven't done any of those things.
Yeah.
I'd say it's not an easy job, and he's built himself up, a reputation for knowing what he's talking about.
But the guys who go on there, the American fellas who go on that show, there must be an awareness that what we're doing is not, without dumbing it down, we've got to make
it accessible for everyone,
for a UK audience.
It's better when Chappers is it like that.
Yeah.
With those seeing.
Does he dumb down as well?
Well,
I never get to watch it.
He's always like he basically comes to a point of not really knowing very much, and then says if you don't know, there's no need for that.
To say it's a bit like you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you the Chappers of this podcast?
He'll just say, I'm not nearly as.
Is Chappers the Sam of their show?
Wow. Not nearly as personable as Chappers.
That's true enough, yeah.
But I know, just that for our viewers at home who might not know.
Yeah, he asks the obvious questions, doesn't he? But they often, they need to be asked, I suppose. Anyway, I don't know how we got into that. We were talking about Jason Witten going to the Monday night. So we've now got Troy Aikman and we've got Tony Romo.
Is Aikman the one you hate?
No. Aikman's the Fox guy.
Aikman works with Joe Buck, who I did.
Joe Buck, you hate, right? Yeah.
Oh,
I don't hate Joe Buck.
What's your thing against Joe Buck?
Right, I did a blog once and I wrote a few nasty things about him. He looks like a caricature of himself, doesn't he? He looks like a puppet.
He does a bit, yeah.
He's been sorting himself.
I don't know, my favourite part of watching what did they broadcast it for? Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. It's Fox.
So we don't like that.
Right, well, yeah. Politics aside, I like how they welcome us into the broadcast booth and he's talking to the camera, then he turns to Troy Aikman and he asks Troy Aikman a question. Yeah. Troy Aikman starts talking and answering a question and Joe Buck looks nods at him for half a second, turns to the camera, smiles,
and then listens to
it. Every single time. You guys at home, just next time he invites you into the broadcast booth, one, just make sure you're with a responsible adult because you don't trust him, but mostly, just watch out for this smirk that he'll do once he's asked the question.
Very talented man though, Joe Buck.
Like Steve Martin doing the whole...
Yeah. I suppose everyone's got the thing. Maybe that's what it is.
Acceptable.
But he calls the baseball.
He does.
Joe Buck,
multi-sport.
There you go. So Jason Witten joining yet another cowboy in the broadcast booth. It doesn't particularly excite me that, but then I don't...
What, loads of cowboys?
Well, Witten on Monday Night Football, and I
think
feel he could have got...
I think it's going to be fine. I think the rumour is people would be in interview for it anyway, so obviously he must have a camera presence, I think.
Yeah. Apparently Brett Favre stunk in his audition.
He was probably drunk at the time. Probably, I think Witten will be fine. I mean, how much you don't really know until you get him in the booth. I mean, like, there's nothing to suggest to me that Jay Cutler's going to be good in a broadcast booth, but CBS really wanted him, so he must have something about him.
What's going on the pitch?
Speaking of CBS, they wanted Jay Cutler. They've got Bruce Arians.
Is Jay Cutler doing it because he's retired now?
I've not. We'll have to check that, folks.
Sam can do that.
Sam can do that. You check if Jay Cutler.
BA.
Check Jay Cutler's CBS. See if they've taken him. Thanks, buddy.
He's retired again.
Bruce Arians joining the CBS team.
What do you reckon about that? I quite like that.
I like that. He's cool, Bruce Arians. He's cool.
He's going to struggle not to swear.
Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah, no risk it, no biscuit. I do like Bruce Arians. But I think that's. See, I'd rather see someone like that on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it might be a bit too much of a risk for like the flagship TV American football show. So maybe they'll. I mean, not say that Bruce Arians might knock it out of the park on CBS, and next thing you know, he might be on Monday Night Football. But
sure enough,
someone who's a bit more straight-laced, but still has the kind of charisma in Jason Witten's probably the safer bet, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose you're following the footsteps of John Gruden, John Madden, charismatic kind of guys.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Sort of,
charismatic, but not gonna drop you in it.
Yeah, the flamboyance without dropping you in it. Yeah. True enough. What do you reckon, Sam?
I'm not sure he's officially retired yet, guys. But anyway,
there we go. We just retired him. One more little bit of news that particularly concerns us fans over here in the UK is surrounding the NFL London games. Sam, do you want to discuss this one a little bit about bots picking up tickets, selling them on? People aren't happy.
Yeah, well, I've not tried to get tickets for it, but I had my Twitter feed that I just feel like we spammed deliberately by our friend Liz, NFL Girl UK girl.
NFL Girl UK.
Liz.
Can't remember which way around it is.
Lovely Liz.
Good old Liz.
But she's not flagged it up as a big issue, and a lot of fans have done the same.
Yeah.
Trying to get tickets for, I think, strictly the Twickenham game more than anywhere. Basically, the ticket company have been buying their own tickets up, but then to resell them on.
There's no game at Twickenham this year, is there? Is it Spurs?
That's what it's Spurs, yeah.
Might be the Spurs one.
Seahawks Raiders, is it?
Yeah.
And then it's going through, so then they're throwing it through their own third-party website at triple the price or something. To get to the point where it's cheaper for UK fans if they really want to watch a NFL game is to get a flight to America and watch a league game over there. Which, it's kind of thing. I mean, it goes on all sorts of stuff they can do. There's stuff like NFL UK needs. Like measures they can take to stop this happening, really, because people will stop turning up when you're not selling out your stadium, and then you're not growing the game in the UK as you put them ways on lecture, isn't it?
We've talked about it before, haven't we? I mean, we go every year to at least one game, and that is a big expense for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is huge expense for us because already it's in London. So if you live in London, great.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the cost of a ticket.
Yeah.
Small, expense in terms of logistical transports and things like that. For us, we might have to stay overnight if it's a late kickoff. That's a big expense already. The train tickets are phenomenal. Tickets themselves are pricey. The whole day, you're looking at like maybe £400-500 if you have to stay over. And all of a sudden,
the tickets are going to be that.
And then if you cannot get a ticket because some irreputable bloody businesses decide to snap them all up and sell them for triple the cost, because some people can pay it, the common man, the regular fan, is missing out, and that's not what it's about, is it?
Because it always felt from the very start that with those London games that it did feel it was more about the fans, and it wasn't necessarily about having an allegiance to one team. You'd go, you'd see every jersey in the NFL there, wouldn't you? And it was about coming together, a celebration of the game in this country. Inevitable.
Well, speaking of not having an allegiance to a team.
Well, this is true, Sam, because on the subject of London games, the subject of Wembley Stadium,
hastily scrawled.
Yeah, well, we probably could have had it in the last pod, didn't we? Had the news happening that time.
What we sometimes do, folks, is news or ideas hit us as we go on, and now we're on YouTube. You can see us scribbling furiously away and throwing it around.
It's a very organic podcast.
There you go. Yeah.
But the rumoured, not rumoured, the initial stages of Shere Khan's bid for Wembley.
Shere Khan.
That's it.
From the Jungle Book.
Shere Khan. Shere Khan, the tiger.
Shere Khan's
purchasing the Jaguars.
Well, history might suggest otherwise, mate.
Okay.
The owner of Jaguars and Fulham.
Shahid Khan or Shah Khan.
Right. The guy with the tash.
Yeah. Not a tiger.
Is
I could understand the uproar a little bit if it was a tiger buying Wembley. I'd be livid.
Yeah.
I know the LSU mascot tiger's got its own palatial home in Louisiana. I don't think it's got any right to be buying our national stadium.
Well, there you go.
But billionaire businessman.
Has Shah Khan got the right to be buying our national stadium?
I don't know. Are they selling it? Because if they are, yeah.
Anyway, regardless of that, the main question, surely that exists.
So yeah, without getting into what this means for English football, English soccer, in terms of the NFL, the presumption is this is a step towards a franchise coming to London.
Is it?
And that franchise being, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Unless you name two franchises and he wants an expansion one.
No, I don't. I'm not suggesting it's not the Jaguars. I'm suggesting is it a step towards that. It might just be as they suggest, which is for them having dominating the UK fan scene for the Jaguars is crucial to revenue streams. They forfeit a game a season, so Jaguars fans over in Jacksonville only have a 7-game season, unless he gets the playoffs, obviously.
Sure.
It's not a laughing matter.
Yeah, they did it this time.
Yeah, they did quite well too. But giving up an eighth of your season to British fans comes at a cost, and the reason why they do it is because, let's face it, when you go to Wembley, if you ever go to Wembley and watch the Jaguars against any team, doesn't matter if you. The majority of the stadium is Jaguars fans, and I'd say
there's a push, isn't it?
I'd say outside of maybe the Patriots and the classic '80s teams like the Dolphins and Bears, the Jaguars have got a massive following in this country.
Well, it's growing.
And that's because of them. And
the other nice thing for Jaguars fans when they come to Wembley, they win.
Yeah,
they do tend to,
really get that experience in Jacksonville.
That awesome game.
It's Sam living at the end of the 2016 season.
Forgetting the last season.
Not as though Jacksonville have now established themselves as an AFC powerhouse, or anything. Yeah.
Still down on them.
But the 10 years before that, I apologise.
No, but it's understandable, isn't it? I mean, if he thinks in buying Wembley Stadium, he's got a permanent home then for the Jaguars whenever he wants it. You're still dominating the UK market. You've still got the revenue stream, and to him, what that means is that gives him more of a chance of more money, more chance of keeping Jacksonville home is what he's saying. Now, whether that rings true to a lot of fans, I don't know. I think it's interesting. At the end of the day, the NFL have kind of done that thing where they're moving to seeing if one set of fans can come to their team. That's why some teams come twice a year, whatever. That's going to be the next stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. See if you can have a market for an 8-game season, essentially, at Wembley, and this might be part of it.
Wembley or across Europe.
Yeah,
So
I don't.
international series, it's only ever been
The
London,
Globetrotters.
Germany's obviously got a huge fan base as well. They tap into.
Either way, the bots will buy the tickets and sell them on, so we won't get to see it. But good luck to them.
The money goes in, yeah.
They're London Jaguars. And also, Sam, just thinking back, talking about the Walter Payton Man of the Year, it'd be interesting to see who was nominated for the Sean Payton Man of the Year. Can't imagine there'd be people from the same category.
No need for that. He's a good
Sean
man.
Payton Man of the Year.
Imagine that. Just imagine that. Well, famously, our Sean Payton Man of the Year is Vontae's birthday, isn't it?
Well, yeah, are you renaming the? Are you taking that award away from Josh Norman?
Can we call it the Sean Payton Man of the Year award? Anyway, there we go.
Well,
that was that.
We've got 10 months to talk about that. Let's get on to the draft, because
Let us go back in, folks. Then, so
Because you're in work in the morning.
we finished our last
I
podcast.
spent a lot of time talking about American bloody broadcasts.
We had to fill this podcast somehow.
Oh, we're going to fill it, mate. Don't you worry about that.
There we go then. We're gonna dive in now in the second round of the draft. Yeah, and we picked out a few names that have sort of stood out to us. And when I say we, I mean Si has picked out some names, and Sam's going to chip in with a little bit as well. And I'm just going to conduct this orchestra as smoothly as I can. So let's go to an early pick in the second round then, and New York Giants, well, they've really sending love letters to Eli Manning after benching him earlier this season, and after following up with Saquon Barkley in the first round, they've gone with the guard Will Hernandez in the second round.
Sam said this way because
Well, it's the first two picks in the second round, because Cleveland obviously were above them, and they got their guard in Austin Corbett.
they did.
No, I think I'm not sure why they went for Corbett over Hernandez, because Hernandez just looks a very athletic man for the size he is, really. Quite quick on his feet. Looks like he was borderline first round talent, I think. Really was.
I'll tell you why they went for Austin Corbett over Hernandez, because even though Austin Corbett might not have quite the upside and maybe like the ability in total, Austin Corbett has the ability, has the potential to play on the outside. Will Hernandez doesn't. He can only play on the inside. He's definitely a guard. Regardless, you give Eli Manning a running back. Next best thing is to bolster that offensive line, especially on the interior, to give that running back every chance of succeeding.
It's now got
Dave Gettleman, first two picks, got 2 first rounders, really, didn't he?
And it is interesting, guys, that one of the stories in the off season was with the Giants going for a quarterback, their quarterback of the future. It meant they've done the exact opposite, and they've turned around and they've said, no, Eli's our guy. We'll give him the running back. We'll give him the offensive line we desperately needed.
And if he's not a guy, then we'll deal with it.
Then we'll deal with it further down the line.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 2 rounds, so they did, I think.
We saw the pace in the last pair of chumps in charge got for dropping him, so
Yeah.
I'm going to risk that again.
That was a sorry moment of the season, wasn't it? They
It really
properly dropped
was.
the bollock there, didn't
It
they?
really was. McAdoo's going to go down in infamy, isn't he? Really, especially in New York. There we go. And that straight after that pick, the Browns were up again, and they picked up Nick Chubb, very highly rated running back from the Georgia Bulldogs, and interesting though with Cleveland grabbing him, having again they were linked with Saquon Barkley. They had picked up Carlos Hyde in the off season. Nick Chubb goes in there. Are we looking at a sort of committee approach here in this
Well, we've got Duke Johnson as well, haven't they? You can catch out the down.
Yeah.
I like Nick Chubb. If you watched him back in 2015, in his freshman year at Georgia, he was electric, absolutely electric. And then 2016, awful injury. And last year, pretty much got back to it, didn't he?
Doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin here.
What was that?
We're good.
All right.
For those not watching on YouTube, that's Rob making a right pig's ear of everything.
I was doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thank you very much.
Back to our friend Nicholas Chubb.
Yeah.
Sam likes him, I like him. He shared the backfield with Sonny Michel last year in Georgia, so it wasn't like he was doing it all himself.
No.
Means he's not got a bit less tread in his tyres, but he does have an injury history.
I don't know what their stats are between them, those two Georgia running backs, but talk about your tandem.
Yes.
Those two together.
Come on, Sam. Talk about the tandems.
Well, both of them, they're near enough 7. I think they're like 1.6.9, 1.7.3 or something yards per carry, like all last season between them. So, in a sort of smash mouth Southern football division as well.
I was going to say exactly a similar thing, mate. Sonny Michel, if anybody was catching the ball at the backfield in Georgia, it was Sonny Michel. Nick Chubb, not so much. Now, I also saw on Twitter recently that what's he called? Guy off around the NFL podcast.
Which one?
I don't know. One of them.
One of them
was talking about your boy Carlos Hyde.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he was one of the least efficient pass catching running backs in the NFL last year, and that's why I think San Francisco moved on from him.
Yeah. Wind it back to the podcast a couple of weeks back. I made the same points.
No, that's probably where you got it from, mate.
It's where you got it from.
Yeah. So now you've got Hyde, you've got Chubb, who's not a pass catcher, but you do have Duke Johnson. Now you've got a pretty well-rounded backfield. Everyone thought maybe Saquon Barkley was on the menu with Cleveland if they could get him in a quarterback. Obviously, the way things panned out, that wasn't really feasible, was it, for him?
No, not at
So
all.
probably would have done if he's still there for.
Is that something that you get that happens often in college football? The idea that you can get, you know, in essence, you know, a first round and a second round running backs from the same team. You know, those tiny tandems we talk about, but that sounds like it was a monster
Not
tandem.
really, you don't often get tandems coming out at the same time. It's not.
So that is quite unique what Chubb and Michelle did last year.
Yeah. But I still have reservations over that pick in and of itself.
Next pick.
Chubb.
You don't like the Chubb pick?
Well, no, because there's the running back sort of discussion in this. There's a bit of an on-running story through the first sort of 2 or 3 rounds, wasn't it? Where I'm not sure the order. I don't think the team's got them in the right order. I think there's two running backs further down the line in Ronald Jones the second.
Yeah.
And most
notably
Darius Guys the first.
Ronald Jones the second, going in the second, which is nice.
But he passed on both of those. I think they're both probably slightly more talented, more potential of really lighting up the
You
NFL.
sound a lot like me when I first watched my first 1 or 2 drafts. In that this is the set order of the ability in these running backs. Like, it's what I think, it's what a lot of other people think. Why is it not what everyone thinks?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's 2 reasons. One, people don't think the same. They're like, scouts have different opinions. And 2, and 2, the bigger, and the other obvious answer is that they're doing a different job in a different team.
Yeah.
Obviously the Browns had their guys. We all know John Dorsey's gone in as a GM, and he likes his certain kind of football players. And maybe he looked at Ronald Jones and thought a bit too flaky. Maybe he looked at Darius Guys and thought, what a barn pot. Give me the guy who's going to run it down a guy's throat on the first and second down.
And I think particularly for Washington, really,
an absolute steal.
Well, that kind of running back particularly is what they need, because you know they've got Chris Thompson, a very effective pass catching running back. They've got Jameson Crowder, who I think is a very effective slot receiver, possession receiver on the short yardage. The one thing they've wanted in Washington for so long now. You know, they tried it, didn't they? Side with Matt Jones. You know, that bruising.
He's still got Rob Kelly. I thought he'd done
Rob Kelly's in there.
I thought he'd gone to Indy.
But Darius Guice is exactly the kind of running back that they've been looking for, isn't it?
Sam will tell you, watching Darius Guice
I've seen if we've read his stats down.
I think me and the rest of the NFL scouting world compared him to Marshall Lynch the minute you saw him.
Yeah.
But I also do like the comparison to, because obviously they both went to the same school. He came out a year after, to Leonard Fournette. He's a baby Fournette in that he's gonna hit you hard.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do that all goddamn day. And you better be ready to bring it all day, otherwise you're gonna get worn down.
And he's been doing it for 2 seasons at college as well. CPP. Leonard Fournette struggled a bit for fitness in his last year.
He did.
And so Guy stepped in then, and then he added Guy's final year when he struggled for fitness a bit, but with a dodgy ankle, still started most games. Still went well over
1,200 yards.
And it was kind of the story of the first 2 until he got drafted of why he was being overlooked for so long.
Yeah.
Because everyone had him down as a first round talent, quite high up first round probably.
I'd say mid first round, but obviously with the devaluation of the running back position, you couldn't understand if he fell into the second round.
There's all these strange rumours about his character, etc. And this is the guy who at Combine suggested. Well,
is this the guy who
outright said?
Right.
I was asked if my mother was a prostitute,
and it was untrue.
If I like it.
Yeah. And it wasn't true, or we think
there's been some
he's been told to say it's true.
That it wasn't true.
I don't know if it's a rumour or not, but I have read that his agent has been putting it out to teams that wasn't true. It's not to say that he was never asked out outside of a meeting by somebody,
right?
But in the meetings he wasn't actually asked that, and it's just another flag about his character, because they don't really think he's a bad person. No one's ever said, if you look at any kind of report on him, no one's ever said he's a bad guy, he's done anything bad. Just a bit immature, a bit childish, a bit unusual, a bit like he feels he has to exaggerate things maybe.
He still went fairly.
He's going to grow up like we all do. He's going to grow up at some point.
But I don't see why. I don't quite understand how he dropped that far, and it did feel. Again, with all the stories that came around about he's made then this and he always made that story up, which was never said at the time.
No.
Only became like,
three days before the race.
He's actually made the story up. It just felt like
bullshit.
There was a vibe of, to me,
the
NFL teams, the NFL sort of old boys network
Yeah.
were very unhappy that he got public with the questions that he was asked.
In the same
which
way,
paints them in a terrible light.
in the same way, Mr. Kaepernick.
You don't cross the NFL old guard, yeah.
That's what it felt. That's what the.
I'm with you, Sam. So it was almost like his agent was trying to put out fires there. And go, he never said it. He never said it. Please draft him.
Yeah, it felt a bit like that.
Apparently, that's the case. But apparently, rumours also came out saying that he got in a shouting match with the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff in an interview, in a meeting. Not strictly true. He got in a shouting match with them at the combine.
Yes, yeah.
Just something random. I don't know why he did. Obviously, that's a concern in itself. But his agent had to go to the Eagles and said to him, that's not him. This is not his guy.
Right.
If you were planning on bringing him for a meeting, please still do.
Yeah.
Wait for a meeting with the Eagles and impressed them still. But they didn't. I mean, running back set really.
It was well, especially now they've got Sproulsy back.
If you're the Eagles though, and you get that, and you think, this is an all right kid. You're still in the back of your mind thinking, but why was he like that guy?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Just right now.
Was he riled up? Was he?
You can also say, that's great passion and what likes to transfer on the field.
We do get a bit. We do get these Jekyll and Hyde sportsmen, don't we? I think of someone like Troy Polamalu, who was this kind of very zen, chill kind of guy off the field and a monster on it, wasn't he?
But if the reasons you're drafting are, you're going to talk about the tangibles and the size, shape, whatever of each player in each position. You're going to talk about you're going to talk about the college record up to that point. And I think, there's still a risk as to whether that's going to transfer necessarily into the NFL. And the point is saying, I'm not sure if he might have the right possible character the way he was with us on this one day. Like, goodness me, if you're staking quite a few $1 million possibly on that punch, which is weird.
I would say one more thing on that.
Yeah, last thing on guys.
You've got to understand that some teams allow that to slide. These kind of things that blow up before in the pre-draft process, like Reuben Foster's misgivings at the combine last year, where he started shouting at medical staff. It might just be because he's passionate and wants to get out of it, wants to get on the field. Turns out he's just a bit of an arsehole. So you can understand it. Some teams just thought, can't be dealing with it. There might be nothing wrong with the kid, but if there is, I ain't getting involved. That's the Kaepernick issue as well. Down to a T.
Reuben Foster story is horrendous. We'll get into it.
Of all of these second round running backs, the one that jumps out as absolutely one who could grab that starting job is the Ronald Jones at Tampa Bay. His competition is Peyton Barber and Jaquiz Rodgers. Now we know that Jaquiz, he's Jaquizzed out a few good performances for my fantasy team in the past.
Has he?
He has.
He has scuppered my fantasy team.
I famously drafted him in once when I was bit down to the bare bones, down on my arse I was. All my players were on buys. He came in, grabbed me 16 points once. Never forget it.
It's killed more than one of my fantasy.
Has he? There we go. But then again, Sam, he wouldn't be alone in that, would he?
Lots of the players, and yourself included.
So Peyton Barber.
I'm not on the field getting points. Not my fault.
You're going to choose him.
Peyton Barber is someone who eventually beat out Doug Martin last season, but not doing it in a particularly convincing way. Ronald Jones, that job's his if he wants it, isn't it, guys?
I don't watch a lot of Pac-12 football. I'm not very interested in those teams. USC, UCLA. It's shite football. It's crap. I hate Pac-12 football.
There you go. Sorry, Pac-12 fans.
I'll tell people that right now.
Right,
I'd much rather watch Big 10, Big 12, SEC, smash mouth, right down your face football.
Right. Well, that says a lot about you. More about you, I'd say, than the actual Pac-12.
Maybe true. I mean, there's a lot of talent that comes out from that West Coast.
Is it too flamboyant for you, the Pac-12?
It is a bit flamboyant for college football.
I knew it.
It is. I'm not going to deny it. It is like that. I mean, if I have to watch it, I do like watching Washington and Utah and teams like that. I think teams you don't mind putting their hand in the dirt and being a bit more physical.
Do you think I'd like the Pac-12?
Yeah, you might like the Pac-12. Yeah, I won't call you particularly flamboyant, really.
Yeah, I can't have moments.
Sam's a bit less flamboyant than last time. He's toned it down. Look at that footwear.
Yeah.
Well, that's very smart, mate.
This pretty much works. This outfit.
It's still got his.
There's a lot of badges going on here as well.
Yeah, I like badges.
Yeah. Anyway, as you were.
But yeah, Ronald Jones the second. I don't know if that makes him junior.
Oh yeah,
we're not sure. It's not, is it? It's just Ronald Jones Jr. It
means the second one, the junior. Yeah.
Because he's the second one.
Yeah, let's not get into this. Yeah. The first.
You knew this when we
the
started.
The second can be junior or the second.
So I think it's just Ronald Jones then.
No, because that's his dad.
No, that's Ronald Jones Senior.
No, because you're not going to walk around calling yourself senior. If you don't know, you're going to have a kid called Ronald Jones yet, do you?
For new podcast listeners, this
Well,
is a long-standing debate.
Sorry?
Here we go.
Ronald Jones Jr. Ronald
Right.
Jones II is making over Ronald Jones.
I do
Yeah,
apologise.
but he's not calling himself anything but himself, is he? He's not saying...
So how'd you get
Yeah.
a senior then?
You don't.
This
No
is
one
we
ever
do.
calls himself senior.
There's a long-standing debate here on the Collapsing Podcast,
And I'm not
which
gonna give this
is,
up.
has exploded.
Calling yourself a second or
before
junior
your
has
ears, dear listeners
nothing
and,
to
and
do
viewers. I do
with your
apologise.
son or any future Ronald
this is-
Jones, as you well know. You're too smart to be
No,
playing dumb on this.
I- no,
you are too smart.
I think it's a grey area. It gets fudged all too often.
Do you want to know a bit about Ronald Jones, mate?
Tell me something about Ronald Jones, but
All
I
right,
pluck my eyeball.
Well, his dad was
eyeballs
called
out with a
Ronald, but
spoon.
apart from that,
Go on.
he is a 3-down running back. He can catch the
Right.
ball at the backfield. I wouldn't say he's got the upside of some running backs, but he can do it all already. So if you're in Tampa Bay now and you're thinking, we don't want to spend our first round pick on a running back. I mean, they spent it on a defensive tackle, which is not necessarily need, but forget that. You get a running back in the second round who can do it all already. They've already binned off Doug Martin, who obviously couldn't do it at all. No one could really supplant until about week 8 or 9 of the season. It's an excellent fit, it's an excellent pick.
He's one for your fantasy award next year, mate.
I would think so. He's one that jumped off the boat. Him, I mean, you know, in fantasy, you're always looking at opportunity, aren't you, with running backs? Can they be the lead back? And Geis and Jones jump out as two that certainly could take that mantle.
I'm going to give it evens that Ronald calls his first son Ronald.
Oh God, please. We're through the worst of the storm. Let's not go back into the eye of it. The other running back who went in the second round that we particularly liked was Simon and I particularly like is Kerryon Johnson. Because they'll be Kerryon running in Detroit. Well, they won't be Kerryon running. They'll be running for the first time because they haven't had a 100-yard rusher for 5 seasons now.
Before, guys.
Kerryon Johnson. What do we think? We've got Leggy Blunts there, isn't he? We know that Amir Abdullah is possibly on the fringes of being cut. Theo Riddick, the Chronicles.
Do we know that? Have you read that somewhere?
Suspicions. Yeah,
Two and two equals
I've
five.
heard whispers. Yeah. Because if you look at it, you know,
I hope so. Nothing bad personally against Amir Abdullah, but the guy's not done it.
it would be. It would not be. It would be him or Theo Riddick for third down back, wouldn't it? And Theo Riddick's been doing that for them for a long time.
Well, the interesting thing about Detroit is they've gone pretty hard-nosed, haven't they? They were drafted defensive line first round. I've already got LeGarrette Blount, like you said. They've got Zach Zenner, who's the white LeGarrette Blount.
Who they signed, didn't they?
They signed him, so they've gone very physical on line scrimmage, and then picked up Kerryon Johnson, who, if you watch his college tape, he gets the job done, which is impressive. But when you say someone about that, you know, you give it to him on third down, he's going to get the job done. You automatically think big guy. Not strictly true. He can take contact, but he's pretty skinny.
Yeah.
From the waist down, isn't he? He doesn't look like he's got the power.
Right, okay.
He probably he plays. I don't know if he's quite tall, but he certainly plays tall. He doesn't like. He won't win the leverage battle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Still manages to do the job on third down. So quite an interesting guy.
That's what I'm concerned. I'm not sure that'll transfer. Doing it at college.
Might do. It reminds me a little bit of Latavius Murray in that regard. Plays
Right,
quite vertical. So the one way of looking at it is they think he's a bit more physical than we do. The other way of looking at it is they've got the physical boys. Maybe Kerryon's the first down back. Very interesting. They also drafted a fullback later on, so definitely looking to run the ball down the throats of the NFC.
And without wanting to bang the drum, they should have gone guys on that pick. Yes.
Well, yeah, but so should a lot of teams, to be fair.
Yeah, and this is after did they not?
But for a running back, I mean, the running backs.
Chubb, Johnson.
In that mould is the back they need as well.
Rashad Penny.
Guys is the guy they need there as well. Anyway,
good stuff. Pick out another couple of picks that caught our attention. James Daniels, centre, going to Chicago to. Well, they've lost Josh Sitton, did they not? In the
they did,
and they brought in more talent there on the offensive line.
They've already got Cody Whitehair at centre. But both Whitehair and James Daniel have position versatility, so they can play anywhere on that interior. So one of them's going to move to guard, and all of a sudden you've got an offensive line who can protect things. This whole draft was about Mitchell Trubisky, apart from maybe the Roquan Smith pick in the first round.
Just sitting there too good.
And obviously it's probably the final piece in a sneaky. What we've been saying for the last 12-18 months is a sneaky good defense. I like this pick. There's 3 really good centers in this draft: him, Ragnow, and Price from Ohio State. I think it's a great pick.
Excellent. I'm really interested to see what the Bears do this season.
They're a storied classic franchise. Should be better than they are.
And it all now focuses on Mitch Trubisky, doesn't it?
Does
Everything's been set up for him.
Yeah.
You know, they've added pieces, they've added weapons for him on the off season through the, you know, in the draft they've helped, you know, the offensive line. Interesting. Let's see how that one goes. Cortland Sutton, wide receiver to the Denver Broncos. Sam, big body guy.
Yeah.
Check him out. He's done some research on that. He remembers from 2 weeks ago. Can't remember.
But yeah, I mean, he was again borderline first round talent.
Yeah.
As most of these high second round picks should be.
And it's just a great pick for Denver, isn't it?
It's an interesting pick.
It's an interesting pick when they've still got.
Well, go on, sorry.
I was going to say when they've still got Demarius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders there.
Two top wide receivers. They've got knees out around the rest of the field, but you can understand in some regard. They basically, number 5 in the first round, thought we don't like Josh Allen.
Yep.
We don't like Josh Rosen. We're stepping out. We're going with Case Keenum here.
Yep.
Next best play is to get a great front seven on defense, so then we're not worried about that side of the ball.
Restore your defense, yeah.
Play
that Case Keenum needs
and
better you for
and then
wide
give him as
receivers to
much as
deal with.
possible, yeah.
Yeah,
It's absolutely possible.
Give him a wide receiver, yeah.
Reminded me of last year.
Caught an interesting pick, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course they went on and drafted Royce Freeman as well to again helping out Case Keenum there. So we like the Cortland Sutton pick, and I think
gonna
also
need helping, isn't he?
He's what?
He's going to need help.
He's going to need some help, and I think this possibly suggests to me as well that I don't know whether Demarius Thomas will be on the Broncos next
Him
season.
and Sanders both 30 plus, both in the last year of the contract.
Yeah.
One at least is going.
Least one's going, isn't it?
There was rumours that Sanders was getting traded this year.
Yeah.
But I'd keep Sanders over Thomas, to be honest, personally. Just saying.
Yeah, okay. Well, because you would say that Sanders was. Well, you would say that Sutton was more like Thomas than he was Sanders.
I'm not saying that he'll finish with more yards than Thomas in a season. I just say that Sanders is more consistent. You get what you know what you're going to get out. You put him in the slot. He's going to do the slot perfectly fine.
So he works the slot.
Thomas is hit and miss, but at the same time, look at the people who've thrown the football to in the past 2 years. Start to saying it.
Harold Landry, defensive end, went to Tennessee Titans. Now the one thing I know about the Titans is they need a bit of a pass rush. Have they got it in Landry?
I like this pick. Do you know much about Harold Landry, mate?
Not a great deal. He didn't tell me a lot more, but he's very solid.
He's fast as fuck. He's fast as fuck, right? And the best thing about it is, in that Tennessee Titans defense, Dick LeBeau, I think he's gone now, but what he's installed is pretty 50-50 whether they play 3-4-4-3. So your pass rushers are going to have to come at you, either standing up on the front line or in the front line, or standing up at outside linebacker. Whatever way you look at it, you're going to need speed. Harold Landry was the fastest pass rusher in this draft by far. He's got the speed and the dip to get under, like a bit like Von Miller. He's not as good as Von Miller, don't get me wrong, but he's got that dip to get under the arms of the outside tackle, cut in the corner at a ridiculous velocity kind of thing, to go after the quarterback. They jumped the Patriots for this guy. He's the kind of Patriots pick this.
Excellent. We discussed Josh Jackson, cornerback, going to Green Bay briefly last week. Anything else you'd want to?
It's a great pairing as well, isn't it?
It's one of my favourite picks in the draft. Really, really competitive cornerback who I think will start on the outside. And I think Jair Alexander, you'll see, will start at the slot because he's not physical enough. Love it.
We'll finish the roundup of the second round.
Nice enough.
There you go. In the NFC East, where in a little bit of drama here, wasn't there? Because the news of Jason Witten's retirement obviously places a tight end on the Cowboys' wish list, and with the 49th overall pick, they thought they were going to grab one. They were going to grab Dallas to go in Dallas Goddard, but the Philadelphia Eagles, the last second, traded up above them, went out and snatched the tight end from Dallas, and there you go.
Dallas Goddard, I think is what you're trying to say.
What did I say?
Goddard or something.
Goddard.
Yeah, this is what we forever known as the David Akers pick. This is the one where he got on the stage and gave it death to the Cowboys.
Oh, was it for this one? Was it? Yeah. Oh, even better then.
I think the Cowboys pivoted out nicely. I didn't really consider tight end a huge need for Eagles. I realised they lost. I realised they lost Trey Burton to the Chicago Bears, which I think is another example of why the Bears have won the off season, because they've picked those low key guys.
Yeah, I think
do little tricky bits and things like that. I know Travis Kelce's obviously. Not Travis Kelce, sorry.
Zach Ertz. Yeah.
He's still there. But the old guy,
love you, Zach,
who played alongside him last season as well.
Selleck. Yeah.
Brent Selleck. I think he's gone. So maybe they're looking for a bit of. Zach Ertz is one of the most durable tight ends in the league. So if you're picking him a fancy like you did, you didn't have to worry about the goddamn thing after that.
He missed a couple of games last season when Burton shone, but yeah, you're right, absolutely. Yes, for that position as well. He's
Dallas Goddard was like a Division II school tight end, South Dakota State Jackrabbits, I think he played for. And you have to excuse me if that's wrong. I've completely and utterly binned off all this information out of my mind after last week.
There you go.
Just dropped it straight away. But he's a vertical threat, Jimmy Graham style, wide tight end, receiving tight end. Very interesting. And I think the Cowboys pivoted nicely out of the situation, to be honest.
Okay, so is he a blocking tight end as well, or are we talking about pass
I don't
catching?
think he is, no.
Pure pass catching tight end. Interesting, in the Eagles offering both. So you don't think the Cowboys were gonna grab him?
They might have done, but I think when they realised what the Eagles had done to him, I thought they moved on quite nicely.
They didn't grab the next tight end.
No.
They didn't. Yeah. And they went and they grabbed Connor Williams to help an already very strong offensive line gets a little bit more support there. Offensive tackle, so is he going to start right tackle, do we think, Si?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he will. I mean, the reason why I always was quite high on Connor Williams as my best tackle is because he can play right tackle, left tackle, or guard. I mean, at the very worst, he's going to shift his guard and be perfectly fine. The beautiful thing about Dallas is that they've already got Lyle Collins, who's played right tackle, he's played right guard.
Yeah.
So they can, whoever's doing the best, they can just move around as it fits in.
After last year, they've let O-line took a bit of a bit of a step back.
Who's the man on the blind side? The one who was
Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith's your main man. You've obviously got Travis Frederick at centre, but they've lost pieces. We know they have. Retirement, free agency.
Free Leary.
Before last year, they were the best O-line for.
They were
on the bounce.
Yeah. And then Free and Leary left.
Well, we discussed
it. And they know the
I
value
thought
of that, and they think they're just trying to keep that.
They went later. Yeah, of course. They went Leighton Van Der Esch in the first round. I thought they very may well go offensive line the first time. Picking up someone like Connor Williams, who's definitely when you went to the draft, so obviously the NFL thought he was worthy of the first round pick. I did too. Great value at 50, isn't it?
It is.
Excellent. And that's that. That's our highlights of the second round. Apologies if we left anyone off that you think should have been included. We left plenty off. Any other quick jump outs, Si or Sam?
Sam's got one, hasn't he?
Quickly throw out there.
Yeah, Chenna and Wosu you were talking to me about.
I know, it's like the name.
I'll go on.
It's a great combination of letters, isn't it, when you look at it on the page?
What's his name?
He's called Chenna and Wosu. He's a
Si wants to talk about him because the Chargers drafted him.
I wasn't going to mention him until Sam mentioned him pre-pod. The guy is a designated specialist pass rusher. That's simple. He'll come in on third downs or whenever Joey Bosa or Melvin Ingram get injured, or you can rush him outside linebacker, which is what I think he will do because he's a bit slighter, a bit of a tweener. I don't think he's really got the body type to be rushing from defensive end. Probably the last of the pass rushers in the draft. So the Chargers got, to be honest, at this stage, it's hard to work out what the Chargers are going to do anyway. They're always quite close, play the cards close to the chest in the draft. And how they use Mosu is going to be very, very interesting to watch because it was weird when they picked Bosa. They play him as a defensive end in a 3-4, which isn't necessarily a pass rusher, but he does get after the quarterback just like someone like JJ Watt does in Houston. You know what I mean? That's not the
main
traditionally
job.
the role of a defensive end in a 3-4. They're normally to pinch the edge, keep it tight, and let the outside linebackers to get to him, like someone like Von Miller will do in Denver.
Sure.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Mosley does. Sub-package third downs, he's going to come in, he's going to hit teams hard.
Good stuff, Si. Good stuff. Anything else on the second round, or should we just do a kind of?
Let's just get some interesting ones now.
Well, I mean, we're going to go from sort of the third round down, and we're just going to sort of freestyle a little bit and throw out some names.
Names we may have heard.
Names you may have heard. Sam, do you want to kick off?
Well, we'll start with a name we all heard a lot of. Mason Rudolph.
Yep.
Okie State.
Okie State. Replacing. Well. Understudy 2.
Yeah.
Replacing Joshua Dobbs and
Big Ben Roethlisberger.
No, sorry, Landry Jones. Really.
Landry Jones.
And he's sort of slightly in the mode of Big Ben, isn't he?
That was my big question. Was going to be: is this a signal of a change of direction from the Steelers? Long term,
he's similar in the mould in that he likes to stand tall in the pocket and deliver the ball. He's not similar in the mould that Ben doesn't mind trundling a bit. You want to see Mason Rudolph's probably more like Tom Brady. You're not going to see him moving a lot.
Worth units, though, aren't they?
Yeah, he's a big lad.
Yeah.
He's not as slight as Brady is, if you know what I mean. But he's not got any outside the pocket presence whatsoever.
Another quarterback that the Pats passed on?
Well, there was some suggestion. I saw at least one mock draft of having the Pats go and get this, getting like 31 or whatever as a little cheeky follow-up. But yeah.
I thought they were going to. I thought they might take someone like Mason Rudolph in the first round.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the first. A lot of people thought that he might sneak into the bottom of the first round. For the Steelers to get him in the third, it just shows what they think of Dobbs and Jones. But also, it's good value, and they got his James Washington, his wide receiver from Oklahoma State in the second round, to pick the prior. So that's
it'll be useful to see how it picks up when Big Ben's gaffer tape falls off in week 11 or whatever, and just have a week or two out.
Well, there's a very good chance he'll be out there this season.
This is an interesting thing.
Go on.
Roethlisberger for the past 2 or 3 years, I don't know if I'm coming back, or I don't know if I'm coming back.
Yeah.
The minute they pick Mason Rudolph, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he's like going, oh yeah, well, he might be the guy of the future, but the future ain't going to be starting for 3 to 5 years as far as I'm concerned, because I'm still got
3
it.
to 5, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, hit.
I just like the way he changed his tune as soon as a bit of pressure's on him.
Of course he did. There you go.
Can't play the
Big Ben.
Steelers like a fiddle,
Like
can
Alex Smith. Bit of pressure on, suddenly turns it on.
There we go, let's see. I'm interested in Antonio Callaway, wide receiver there, the Cleveland Browns. They if nothing else, they've drafted Josh Gordon, a smoking buddy. I mean, there's another exciting pick from the Browns, another pick that's sparking some interest.
Bit of a surprise, just because you think they'd moved on from that kind of way of thinking.
Yeah,
But
I
they
mean,
have
Corey
stuck with-
Coleman's still there as well.
Well, they've got a lot of options now. If everybody sticks, you've got Coleman, you've got Josh Gordon, you've got Jarvis Landry, and now you've got Antonio Callaway.
David Njoku,
That is
the tight
talent.
end they like.
Njoku, I think he was fantastic in his rookie season.
Yeah.
The number of green shoots at Cleveland Browns now, you can't count.
Have you ever
can you?
seen so many green shoots in your life?
How many wins next year?
More than last year.
Yeah, should we put a bet on it now?
They're certainly not less than last year. We can all say that.
Yeah. Thanks for going out there with your prediction.
Yeah, I stick my neck out there. Well, as you know, I sort of keep one them on. This is their year. This is their time.
Here we go.
If Liverpool can win the Champions League,
don't. Let's not get on that.
Browns can win.
A couple I like.
Go on.
I like Arden Key. This is the one pick that the Raiders I did like.
Okay.
Third round pick. Give him a chance. The guy's obviously got some character concerns. Another guy who can't seem to put the doobie down, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
But he's got pass rush ability that you just don't really find outside the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see teams scrambling for like the last guys, like the Chargers did with Uchenna and Nwosu. The first pick that I thought to the Raiders, you got a bit of value there.
Yeah.
And I also like a couple of Alabama boys dropped, didn't they, in the draft? Anthony Averett dropped. He went in the 4th round. We thought he might go 2nd round, maybe.
The cornerback to the Ravens.
He went to the Ravens in the 4th round, but mostly Ronnie Harrison,
Harrison
who
the
Sam
third.
famously mocked.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the first round on our pod 2 episodes
Yeah, mocked
ago.
him.
I was going to say,
Never mind.
he did.
He went to Jacksonville.
You wouldn't
with
dare,
the
would you?
93rd pick,
93rd.
3rd round overall. I don't know why he dropped, and like someone like him going after someone like Terrell Edmonds in the first round for the Steelers, that really baffled my mind.
So it'd be an interesting land for him as well, actually, in that defence at Jacksonville. But as safety, he's probably it could work his way up the draft.
Definitely could. That secondary's pretty decent, but obviously cornerback's nailed down. Secondary not so much.
Is this another example again of the Jags? And we talked about it, didn't we, in the first round when Taven Bryan, he was sitting there, they grabbed him. Ronnie Harrison down in the 3rd round. Just too good value to turn down, even though their defense is already the best.
Well, that's probably the one spot they do need showing up.
Yeah.
But
when you're
but also they've got that's their identity now, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
well, there's that. There's definitely that.
Yeah,
And also,
absolutely.
the thing about being a good team in a good position, if you're happy with Blake Bortles, you just take the best. Well, they obviously are. They've given you a 2-year contract.
They're going to have to be, aren't they? Otherwise it costs them
Yeah,
You
more.
take the
They
best
have to be
talent
happy.
available on the board, and obviously if that fella was Taven Bryan in the 1st round, great. Ronnie Harrison in the 3rd round, damn right, go and get him.
Yeah.
You got any, Sam?
Well, the name that jumps out for me was I just enjoyed him. It was an interesting bit. We're going down into the 7th round near the death. Philadelphia jumping up for them, in fact.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
Jordan Melata.
Go on, why do we like him?
Well, it's interesting vibes. He's coming from, he's a Samoan Australian lad.
Oh yes, the Australian rugby player.
From the
You
rugby
think
league.
Quentin Nelson's big?
Yes.
Fuck me, this
guy,
6'8" he is.
I should just check, when I was talking about big linesmen in the last pod, I got Nelson mixed up with McGlinchey, because McGlinchey's 6'7" or something like that.
Is he? He's not as big.
No, I was just talking about
Nelson did
height.
like they have like these promo videos where they're like posing in front of the cameras, and one guy's got a chain out, it says an NFL draft. And Quentin Nelson, who looks like a fat guy who can't grow a beard, just did this with his arms, like flexed his muscles.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, he's a monster.
It's no wonder he just takes defensive tackles and just puts them wherever he wants.
You're right.
Yeah, but this guy, anyway, go back to it, from the South Sydney Rabbitohs, you may know as...
Russell Crowe's team.
I know them.
But yeah, 21 years old, I think, or 21 at the start of the season, he might be 20 now. 6'8", 345 pounds.
Jeez.
And it's an interesting picture. Obviously, it's outside of the world of NFL.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of excitement, because the Eagles traded up to get him in midway through the seventh.
Yeah.
And then also,
What do you have to trade at that
I know. Yeah.
Well, another
next year's first.
There's a seventh round somewhere next year, basically. But as soon as he was picked, his highlights reel from YouTube probably took a lot more hits on the website. I was like, who's this guy? And he's just like, in a way, he is running against children, because he's only really played under 21 stuff. And there's some concern that he's maybe too big for rugby league, just to put it into perspective. But watch his highlight reel, honestly, it's hilarious to watch, because he's got a foot on a lot of players, like running in at him, trying to, just like lifting his knees up with these guys trying to tackle him, stepping through stuff.
Yeah.
God, this guy is a monster. Looking to mould him into offensive tackle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they get there, then good luck to anyone against them.
And a lot more hope on him than your Niners boy from.
Oh no, I'm happy with McGlinchey. Yeah.
No,
Jared Hayne.
Jared
Hayne. Yeah.
We couldn't remember his name in the pub the other day, couldn't we?
No.
Yeah. The Hayne play.
I was pretty pissed about that one.
Yeah.
But he offered a bit of advice for him. He just said, because again, he had a great highlights reel, Jared Hayne. But he might turn into something.
Yeah.
But he was a 27-year-old when he was doing it. I think just like too late to transfer the skill set. So he got a 21-year-old who might learn a bit quicker. But he said the difficult thing that he found as a rugby player is the playbook. He said it's just so hard to get your head around it.
Yeah.
And that as soon as you have got your head around it, they give you a new one.
Yeah.
It's just like he couldn't do it at all. So it'd be interesting to see if this guy does.
Interesting.
Sam, Rob, outside of Equinemius St. Brown, have you got anybody you apart from the obvious.
Well, I mean, I do, but I feel like we'll leave him right till the end. Equinemius St. Brown, my hero, my Notre Dame boy, falls in the 6th round to the Green Bay Packers. What a steal for them. But we probably should mention Shaquem Griffin, outside linebacker, going to Seattle to join his brother.
But it just made it an even more of a story than it already was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seattle drafted him on top of
What an
that.
emotional moment. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. And as I say, we opened, as I'm sure listeners are aware, we opened this pod with the phone call between him and Pete Carroll and John Schneider, and just a lovely moment, really. And,
not a fan of his dress sense, got to be honest. It looks like someone out of the M people, but absolutely disgrace. But
Heather Small lookalike, is he?
For everyone unaware, of course, this is Shaquem Griffin of the Knights of Central Florida.
the mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
But a guy who had his left hand amputated at 4 years old, I think.
Best thing about it is he's gone to play where his brother played, and
then but went from there from that setback as a 4-year-old, just being told, that this world's closed off to you.
Oh yeah.
And just every time he's done it,
in the most physical of sports.
Yeah, the room. Yeah, most people, and a very physical role in that sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
In which, and then the rumours that he only got drafted to Florida because they wanted his brother to get them together.
His brother Shaquille deserves a lot of credit because
Yeah.
he told teams that he would not sign with them unless they signed his brother as well. Which is an absolute credit to him, and it's come full circle now. And that he's playing with his brother again in the NFL.
Forced him into an NFL team. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Question marks about how much of a role we think it's been more for special teams maybe, but
he'll back up on that strong side linebacker.
There's nothing to suggest he won't just force his way into the first team in the way that
No, he'll play special teams and he'll be effective. He didn't get drafted out of sentiment. I know his brother was already at Seattle, but there's no way Pete Carroll will go draft him out of anything other than ability in the 5th round, early in the 5th round. He will back up the strong side linebacker in Seattle, and he's going to get game time. He's certainly going to be every snap, every down on special teams, and he's going to make an impact in this league.
One of the favourite bits about that as well, as quick was, again, did the rounds on Twitter and the likes, but it was just a young UCF fan, 12-year-old, I think she was a 12-year-old girl or something like that, but she had a still amputation somewhere around the elbow, but she was like, just a little video there clipped in, good luck to her basically. She's there in a UCF cheerleaders outfit, and it's just a good luck to her, and just goes off and does a no-hand cartwheel, doing all the skills. It's just nice that the
inspiration.
You can see how it sort of just feeds into making everyone a bit better.
Yeah, in a cold, money-driven world of professional sport,
just makes the world a slightly better
place. I think. Yeah, totally, guys. That would be the perfect place to finish our roundup of the draft. But I do need to get in one last thing. Look out for the kicker in Minnesota. Look out for.
You wanted to draft him in the 1st round.
Look out for Daniel Carlson, who I famously attempted to draft in the 1st round for the Seattle Seahawks, and I was blocked. But you watch him.
Vetoed me.
Kai Forbath, you're on the clock. 5th round Minnesota, kicker from Auburn, Daniel Carlson.
Just quickly on our draft that people would try. Controversial 1st round picks.
Go on.
I said Pat should have gone for him. Luke Falk.
Yeah.
Ended up.
Actually back up. Ended up pick number 199. Don't know if we know of any other famous quarterbacks who got picked 199.
We both know this, mate.
Keep an eye on him. Pats have missed an absolute. They missed a new Brady there.
You think he's the 1st round pick, yeah?
I think the Pats.
I made him call it.
Who did he end up going to?
The Tennessee Titans, the 6th round.
There you go.
The Tom Brady pick.
Got better than Matt Castle, hasn't it? Yeah, what isn't, folks? Right, we're going to wrap up now. Our sort of our draft podcast, our doubleheader, our marathon. And Sam, you've had a few marathons in your time. This must be right up there.
Not as quick as this.
It's less enjoyable, yeah.
Okay, we're going to just do a few good, a few bad, or well, not so much bad, but a few teams.
A few that makes us exciting, a few that makes us scratching our heads. Because
exactly.
Let's face it, you don't know who's done well and who's not, and for a good 3, maybe 4 seasons, I think it's fair to say. Yeah. You're not going to know who a boom and a bust is. No chance.
We're not going to know. But we're going to throw out a few teams that we like to start with. Who's going to take this one to lead?
Well, I'll start because I disagree straight away that you think you will see this season who's had a good draft in the shape of the New York Giants.
Okay.
Which we sort of alluded to previously, but
I'm not going to disagree with that. I think
can't really argue with that, can we?
I think with Saquon Barkley and Will Hernandez are both instant starters, both going to transform that team for them. And every week's been excited about that. And then, like you say, a bit of talent further down the line, just some got a couple of defensive
got a defensive tackle in the 3rd round, absolutely awesome value.
Yeah, BJ Hill.
Fantastic from NC State, we've discussed on this pod. I don't know, absolutely brilliant in terms of draft class. That was Bradley Chubb's team. I think the Giants absolutely won the draft. I think they smashed it in the first 2 rounds, and that's where if you don't nail it there, then where are you going to?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of teams doing it, and like you say, the 3rd, 4th round is probably where.
It's where you make your bread and butter, but you can't just waste your top 2 picks.
But in terms of teams to watch next season on the back, or draftees to watch next season. Those 2 boys are definitely going to be.
Are the Giants going to make the playoffs, boys?
We're not getting into it.
Absolutely guaranteed.
The wound hasn't yet healed.
The thing about them is they've got the best squad out of anyone in the NFL. Now, as to whether that translates necessarily into a top 4 finish.
Dig at you, yeah.
Go.
8th in the total.
There we go.
My personal winners in this draft. I don't know how sexy a pick this is, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I thought they absolutely smashed this draft. They've had a pretty decent off-season. Jason went out there and thought we've got to get better on defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Went and got Vinnie Curry. Went and got JPP.
Yeah.
Then they went in the draft and picked up Vita Vea to play inside alongside Joe McCoy. You've also got Noah Spence. You've got Bo Allen. That is a phenomenal front line now. That is in a division when you've got Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan. You've got to go after the quarterback. That is like light years away from where they were 12 months ago. Yeah. That's just like unbelievable.
Yeah. Like
then
I said before with Ronald Jones.
Then precisely, man. You draft Ronald Jones. You've nailed that running back issue. The best thing about this draft is that they found value in the secondary, because I was wondering after the first 2 picks when they're going to address that, because they're still playing Chris Conte at safety, and I've never seen anything like it. I thought that guy was been out of the league when Lovie Smith went. This guy is an absolute joke. He was a joke in Chicago. I don't know how he's still in the league. They picked up MJ Stewart, who was cornerback at North Carolina in the 3rd round. This guy's probably going to move to safety. He's got the ball skills to do it. Then they find Carlton Davis, a cornerback from Auburn, absolutely little nasty piece of work on the outside.
Yeah.
I'm thinking these guys have absolutely nailed it. They found some. You think that this Mailata kid's big? He might be tall, but this guy they find in the 3rd round, from Humboldt State, Alex Kappa. He's like a phone booth. He's just ridiculous. He's so wide. He just completely. He's like I don't know. He's just an enforcer on the line. So maybe Jameis Winston gets better on the line. After that, he's got a running game now. I think in a division where they had to get better quickly, considering the other 3
Very
teams,
true, mate,
the Buccaneers did an excellent job this off-season.
Might
Saying they haven't replaced their coaching staff, but apart from that, great off-season.
Might need to explain there. I don't know our demographics. To be fair, if we've got any younger listeners, what a phone booth is. Saves the size of one.
There you go. Moves quick, doesn't it? Time moves quick. Society moves on.
As does this guy from Humboldt State. So
there you go. Very
Alex
nice.
Kappa is
Very nice.
Quick.
I'm going to throw out maybe another one, maybe from left field. I really liked what the Arizona Cardinals put together, and I think it starts and possibly ends with Josh Rosen. You know, really like this guy. They didn't have to give up a lot.
Yeah, we like the value.
They gave a 3rd and a 5th. They jumped up. They grabbed Josh Rosen. I like the fact they've been aggressive. They've not gone, well, we've got Sam Bradford, you know, we've seen some things out of him in the past. Because we all
hope he's okay.
We all have seen some things out of Sam Bradford, you know. We know it, but we know also what often comes next. He goes down, he's out for the season.
With the mystery injury, I was like, oh yeah, avert the knee, he should be okay for week 3.
It's weird, man.
And then week 17, he makes a surprise appearance.
And you can't carry on with Mike Glennon. I like the fact they went out there and grabbed Josh Rosen. I really do. And I think what else they did, you know, this is a team. They're seeing what's happening in San Francisco and LA over the past 2 years in their division. A shift, man. A shift coming. But you know they've lost Carlton Palmer. Carlton Palmer. He's on his way. They moved quick, replaced him. Larry Fitz, obviously. Maybe a year.
He'll play for 5 years, mate. Maybe. Still going.
But do you know what they did? They went out there and they grabbed a hot prospect at wide receiver. They grabbed Christian Kirk, and here's a guy who can actually come in and play straight away. And you were saying, weren't you, Si, guy that can work from the slot, so he could be a Fitz replacement, but he's also got a different skill set that means they can use him alongside Fitz.
I like Christian Kirk, and there were rumours at one point in the draft he might go in the 1st round. Didn't particularly like that because if you look at his measurables, his height. He's a small guy. He's a bit reminiscent of John Brown. I don't think Arizona Cardinals fans will like me saying that because John Brown was injury prone and underwhelming. But in terms of skill set, what he can offer, a guy who looks like a slot receiver but can play on the outside and surprise you, this is Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I mean they backed it up in the 3rd round and then later on in the draft as well, addressing the offensive line, which we know has been a problem in Arizona for a while. Mason Cole seems, from what you guys think, like a very, very solid offensive line.
Yeah, play with the top of that 2nd tier centres.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think quietly they've moved well there in an off season. Where with Arians going, with Palmer going,
losing Tyrann Mathieu,
they could have been cut adrift. They could have become irrelevant quickly. I'm not saying they'll be brilliant, but I think that draft is the best that they could do at keeping themselves up there.
One thing I will say about that is, at the very least, they didn't panic.
Yeah.
Because they've gone quickly from a team in a Super Bowl window to a team on the outside looking in, and they haven't panicked. And I like that about that. I think teams who start firing off talent all of a sudden it's like we've got to find other people, we've got to find pieces, we've got to trade in the world, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
The Cardinals needed to make a move for the quarterback, but outside of that, they didn't need to impress anybody. If it takes 2 or 3 years to get back to relevance, that's the way it is. That's how long-termist teams think, and Cardinals are one of those.
Yeah, so I thought that we want to throw out. We're going to talk now. Any more teams which we particularly liked? I like Washington, what they did.
Yeah, nice. I like Houston because they didn't get a pick until the 3rd round, but they managed to get Justin Reed, Martinez Rankin, Jordan Akins after that point. I thought they did fairly well identifying holes in their roster. They needed a safety, a tackle, a tight end, a wide receiver. They went and got them.
They went and grabbed them.
I thought for an absolute basket case club as well, the Dolphins suddenly pulled it together.
Yeah.
What they have been for the last
Damn right they did, mate.
12 months or so.
Yeah.
They've got nice.
A bit of direction now.
Yeah, without again talking about Minka for too long, but Minka got Gesicki at tight ends.
That's an interesting one.
So Tannehill's got very few, got less and less excuses now, and Jerome Baker's on the third of linebackers.
I do like him and Minka together. Would look good. I wonder if Sam's got a picture of Minka, like a poster of him on his bedroom.
Do you reckon? In his Alabama top, or alright was Alabama?
No, half cut one.
You get the abs, but you also get the top. Yeah.
Rocky 3 training on the beach. So
Apollo Creed t-shirt. There you go.
There you
Sam,
go.
you'd look good in one of those.
Fantastic.
Excuse me, that might not be true.
Might not be.
One of us would. Right, so let's look at the ones.
I've seen you play, mate. Don't lie.
Off. You know what? Last week he compared me to Tony Bellew. I thought, thanks very much, mate. Thanks very much.
In what respect?
No, I didn't. I compared my chef to Tony Bellew.
You said I look like Tony Bellew.
Alright, physically, not just like
on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I said Frankie looked like Tony Bellew, the chef.
Where did I get that? I'm sure you said you made some comments.
I can't remember who it is.
Oh, you were comparing the.
You did a little bit.
Yeah. Your card's been marked, Simon Cowell.
I didn't
No.
Well, slightly less athletic boxer than.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard.
I don't remember casting aspersions like this.
Well, you.
What I will cast aspersions about.
Go on then.
Is a certain team's NFL draft class.
Some ones that we didn't like so much. Or we raised eyebrows at least, should we say?
I'm not going to start with the obvious. I'll let you guys battle it out over there. I'm going to take the Saints.
I think the obvious one you get everyone's laid into the Saints.
I like the Traquan Smith pick, the wide receiver from USF, South Florida in the second round. I think that guy's got a bit of speed, bit of talent. Let's face it, give Drew Brees a couple more weapons.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, fine.
The rest of the draft, I can't see value in any pick until Boston Scott, the running back out of Louisiana Tech, in a position they don't need.
Well, the Saints got the clap in round 7 as well. Which be pretty, that's an unnecessary, addition to
typical of that kind of easy city.
It's a risk.
The big easy, mate.
I should say, Will Clapp, centre from LSU, went in the 7th round, but
I just don't see it. I mean, I think it's a huge price to pay for Marcus Davenport. I understand the upside, but you're not looking for upside right now if you're in New Orleans, are you? If you're not going after a quarterback and thinking about the future, you're thinking about right now. And it's hard to see the Marcus Davenport being a guy right now. Just don't see anything else in this draft whatsoever. It's like a complete night and day version of the draft from 12 months ago.
That first round is.
It's just confusing. Like we say, we don't know for sure. It's just a head scratcher.
It was, Of the first round stretches, New Orleans were right up there with the team following them. And, Oakland Raiders at 15 with Colton Miller as a stretch in the first round as well, which
couldn't agree with you more, mate.
Yeah.
They didn't really improve it. It's sort of later day 3 they did.
Well, we said about Arden Key, we like that, didn't we?
We feel like their first 3 picks: Colton Miller, offensive tackle; PJ Holt, offensive tackle; Brandon Parker, another offensive tackle.
From North Carolina A&T, they can't even get the letters right. It's like it's such a stretch. We talked about it in the podcast last week, didn't we? We thought Reggie McKenzie was looking at guys and thought that guy's a 3rd round pick and we need someone there. That guy's and they weren't concerned about who was left on the board. And he's done it before with Carl Joseph and people like that. It's like why he identifies talent and it doesn't matter where he is. If he can't move out that place, he's taking the guy.
Classic Raiders draft, wasn't it? In many ways,
he looked like a height, weight, speed Al Davis draft.
Yeah.
Well, the Raiders put it together. They're trying to recreate the fucking late 70s, early 80s side of just
that's it.
Team full of shithouse arseholes.
Yeah.
That's what it feels. That's what it feels like to me this
You're
week.
calling shit house assholes.
You know Simon's got the Raider Nation coming at him already, Sam. Don't add to it.
Well, it's not just in the
Don't
draft.
extend it to the whole podcast.
Did I tell you about this in the last podcast?
In terms of the team they've got now, they're just trying to be nasty, aren't they? I don't think they concern themselves so much with the talent to back it up altogether, or the
When I slated this, I don't know if I told you this last week. When I slated this, the first 3 picks, because I quite liked it from after the first 3 picks, but when I was looking at his first 3 picks, I was like, I could not understand what was going on with the Raiders. I was like, what is John Green and these guys doing? This is a bit of a joke here. It's just like free agency seemed to be a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
And some woman from like California tweeted me back saying, "Go eat some crumpets."
Yeah, you told us that last week.
Did I?
Yeah.
On the pod.
That was a highlight of the pod last week. Yeah. It's been a long week.
Have you eaten some crumpets? Have you taken an
I've not
advice?
had crumpets since. I don't think I'm going to have one again.
Well, the giant ones, what about a giant crumpet? Come on.
Giant crumpet, not a Raiders crumpet.
Who else don't we like? Well, the Seattle. I mean, we like the Shaquem Griffin pick, but we didn't like much else the Seattle Seahawks did. We thought.
I don't think they drift.
I like Trey Flowers in the 5th. I just don't get how you can take that luxury pick of Rashard Penny when so many teams got value at running back in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, and you had so many holes to fill.
Yeah, absolutely. Rashard Penny's a bad pick, and then
finish it off.
They've not really addressed the O-line either, have they?
That's right. Yeah.
They're not finishing off with the Steelers. I don't have an issue with the Steelers.
Who do you have an issue with?
Well, I could.
How come the Steelers are on this list?
I just don't like the 1st round pick. I think it's absolutely bullshit.
I had Lions. I think Lions are balls deep, but anyway.
Well, go on to explain.
I think Kerry On's dead wrong when you put it that way.
Is he like every day's upper body day?
Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily.
yeah.
Basically, I wouldn't. This might be another season where they don't have a 100-yard guy. That Tracy Walker in third's got a stretch on defence. They're just underwhelming, at least for a team that I think needed to have an overwhelming draft to.
I think this is like a ground laying draft for the Lions. They're getting more physical. If you look at their draft, they're getting more physical. Obviously, they're trying to do the offensive line. They're trying to do running back. Trying to just give that respite, a bit of breathing space for maybe someone like Matthew Stafford, and then from there we'll see them start to develop it. Because obviously, let's not forget, they have had a pretty recent regime change in the front office. They've got some New England guys in, and they make Matt Patricia the head coach. I think give him give him 12 months, Sam.
It's when we're talking about winners, you think, you can get excited about them, or you think, we're going to see a bit of an upturn for them. I don't think it's an upturn on Detroit's fortunes this time around. On the back of that.
And that way, that is that. Thank you very much, folks. What did we do it in? An hour and 15.
Oh well, 15 minutes less than last week. There we go.
We still ran on.
Moving on, old boys.
I hope you ran with
15 minutes talking about American TV. Anyway.
Well, we felt we needed to fill out a little bit this
I
pod.
told you that was not the case. We never need to fill out a pod.
What are you gonna do, folks? What are you gonna do? That's that. That has been the 2018 NFL Draft. One of the most exciting drafts, I think we'll say in recent times, and one of the highest rated TV ratings.
Despite Tampa Bay's effort to sabotage it with a shitty parrot.
Because what happened when the parrot got on the stage? It didn't even say the name, did it?
It wasn't meant to.
I said it wouldn't.
It was oversold.
What's the point in sending a parrot on the stage?
And I said, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I know we all have a bit of an idea of what parrots can say some words, but are you going to teach a parrot to say
Jones?
You get 250 parrots to learn one name, and then whichever fucking name comes in the envelope, you choose the parrot.
I'm sorry, if I got a parrot from the pet shop and it couldn't say Ronald Jones, I'd be sending it back saying this is the proper parrot. This is an ex-parrot! Yeah.
But then on top of that,
I can see the drama coming out, just dashing it in the shop. I wanted a parrot that could say something, mate.
The only thing it was meant to do was deliver the card with the name on, and then a pretty girl in a pirate's outfit was going to read it out. That was the vibe.
Right.
It worked. That was they fulfilled that mantra.
I'm sure they found a pretty girl in a pirate outfit.
Except for the part they didn't televise the bit where the parrot flew over, so we didn't even see that bit.
So literally, it was just a parrot on the stage doing fuck all.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, there we go. Well, that's that, folks. Thank you very much for listening once
What's
again.
the plan going forward, boys? We're going to do a bit of a new thing, aren't we?
Well, we're going to try out some new things. Obviously, we now enter our 3-month. Let's try and do what we can on these pods. There'll be news as always. There'll be little features.
We'll have our funny little podcast, won't we?
Yeah, we'll tell you all a little bit. We'll tell you all a little bit about the inside the pockets features.
So we're calling it
inside the pocket. I think we're going to call it. They're coming up over the next few months, and
we're research apparently.
You've got to do some work in between.
I don't like the name. I'm going to find a better one.
Yeah. I don't like that in doing research. I might not bother.
We are, of course, we're on iTunes,
Stitcher, wherever you get your pods, apart from SoundCloud. Apparently,
subscribe, rate, review if you like.
That's just an iTunes thing.
Is that just an iTunes thing?
It helps people find us. It puts up always.
Fabulous. And of course, we're on YouTube now as well. There we are. Hello. If you're watching us on YouTube, fair play.
If you're watching us on YouTube, why? Why are you watching us on YouTube when you could be listening to it and going about your daily business? That's what I want to know. I don't understand it.
Because obviously we're all made for camera. They clearly want to watch us.
People watch YouTube nowadays, mate.
I know.
Telly, isn't it?
For 75 minutes.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure it's just about cats yawning and dogs being hit in the face with pizza slices. I don't think it's about.
This is better than ICB.
Wow, there's a statement.
That's true. It's true.
There's something we can all rally. We can all rally around that, can't we? That is it. Our pocket has collapsed once again. We will be back very, very soon. I've been Rob Ward. You can call me Wardy. This is Simon Carroll.
Good night, folks.
That's Sam Aykroyd. Ta-da, folks. There you go. Well done. He's out for a piss.
It's probably filming it, mate.
Well held in.